Hey guys, Admiralbone here. Welcome back to World of Warships and Captain's Academy 2.0, where today we're going to be going over shell types. So, when you log into your battle, at Tier 1, it's just going to be a high explosive, which is represented by HE, the shell with the yellow tip. And as you move up, like once you get to Tier 2, you'll get armor piercing, which is represented by the shell with the red markings on it. So, what can these shell types do? Because, for example, if you were to shoot at this Hindenburg over here, while he's angled with armor piercing, you're gonna see it's not gonna do a whole heck of a lot. It's mostly bounced. Stuff that actually penetrated hit his superstructure. So with high explosive, however, that is what you want to be using when you're at range more so. So for example, we give him a salvo from high explosive, just eats a bunch of damage. Well, not a ton of damage, but hey, there you go. Now, high explosive is also the only shell type which can set fires. However, it has a lower damage value than armor piercing. You can see where it says max damage. The high explosive for the Moskva's max damage is 3100 versus armor piercing is 5800. Now, where these max damage values are coming from is when you get a citadel hit on a target, which you're going to more commonly get with armor piercing. Yet, if your gun caliber is big and the ship's armor is not very good, then you can citadel them with high explosive even. So, a citadel ribbon would be a black ribbon. So, I'll just see if I can get one here on the Hindenburg. Some ships, though, are tough to citadel. Mostly you want to go for under the smokestack, but also a nice safe spot is under the turrets. That is considered citadel. See right there? Just got a bunch of citadel hits and did a lot of damage to him. Now, this stance that the Hindenburg is at right now is called broadside. So they're sailing parallel to your ship, essentially. Like showing the most side, what I mean. This is when your armor piercing is going to be most effective because it has less armor to penetrate through. But if they are angled, then you would want to switch to the high explosive where you can actually set fires. Now, this is a cruiser, however, with smaller guns than a battleship, yet don't hesitate to switch to armor piercing versus a battleship, because even if you're a cruiser you can still do damage, and if your guns are big enough you can actually citadel battleships at close range. I mean, this is like the Yamato here. Its armor is pretty darn good, but it has kind of weaker sides, and I'm like getting reliable citadel hits here, and boom, 2 salvos, over 50% of his life gone. And with a reload of only 9.1 seconds on this ship, that's pretty scary. So, for different ships, you typically want to do different types of ammunition. So, for destroyers, example, you're mostly going to be firing high explosive at them, just because you can knock out modules, set fires, and it just does more damage in general. Since they have less armor, the armor piercing will be less likely to over-penetrate, which I'll show you right here. So if I am using armor piercing on this gearing over here, while he is angled, so angling can also be a good thing if the ship doesn't have much armor. See, I got a penetration there. And also, they can ricochet your shots as well, as some of the destroyers have a little bit better armor. But this ribbon right here, that would be an over-penetration. And in the, I believe they have it built in now, but in the settings you can turn on detailed ribbons if you haven't already. But now we switch to high explosive. Does much better. Set a fire. You can even, if you even get closer, and when you get closer you can actually start aiming for key things. See right there, it just broke his torpedo tubes. If you see it with black like that with an X, that means it has been permanently knocked out. However, if you see it with a red outline, that means it's just temporarily disabled, and they will have it up and running shortly. Takes about 30 seconds-ish to repair stuff, so you can knock out their rudder, you can knock out their engine, torpedo tubes, guns, and every time you hit them you're also knocking out AA guns as well. And with other bigger ships you can knock out their secondary battery. So right there we just knocked out 3 AA guns. So as you spam high explosive on them, if they were to say come under attack from a carrier, they would be then less effective than normal, as they've lost a bunch of AA guns. Now only high explosive is honestly the best choice for damaging modules, because with armor piercing it's like, you gotta aim, you gotta like shoot it. And with the turrets, for example, turrets honestly have the most armor. So for example, a Yamato turret, you can break it, but it can take a beating. See right there, that was just temporarily disabled. Boom, there you go. Just knocked out a Yamato turret. But mind you, this is 1 kilometer away. The chances of you ever getting this close to a top tier battleship are pretty slim, honestly. See right there? That wasn't even Citadel hits, and that did a bunch of damage. Now with carriers, you typically want to fire high explosive on them, because with the fires, they cannot launch aircraft while on fire. So, I mean, there is a skill, but the efficiency is severely reduced, and then they're just going to take damage over time. But if they start giving you a broadside, you probably want to consider switching to armor piercing to finish them off quicker. Boom. Now, the abbreviation for damage over time is DOT, so if you hear YouTubers say dot damage, that's what that means, damage over time. Now you can see up here your damage counter. For example, we go and set a fire on that Yamato over there, if we can get one. There we go, there's a fire. See, our damage counter is ticking up. So even if they drop off detection, you can still tell whether they are on fire or not. And excuse my poor sailing here, but whatever. So your damage counter is going to keep ticking up until the fire burns itself out, or they put it out using damage control. Now the fires will burn themselves out eventually. For each different ship, it has different times associated to it. So battleships and aircraft carriers burn for the longest at like a minute. Cruisers only have 30-second fires, and then destroyers have like 15 or 20 seconds. It depends though, because they can take captain skills or modules to reduce the duration of the fire. So, but that's just a good safe deadline to go along. So that's honestly gonna wrap it up, guys. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. Basically, shoot armor piercing at broadside. I don't care if you're a destroyer. Do it. Also, for ships with low armor, like the Minotaur, like I explained earlier, it does help if they have a slight bit of angle to it, to allow the shell to stick in the ship more so. So the Minotaur has a slight angle to us, and there we go. There's the Citadel hit. Because I guarantee you, if I most likely if I went up real close like I did with the Yamato over there and fired armor piercing into his citadel, it would most likely overpenetrate. See, we're even getting overpens from over here. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. But other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.